Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pav Bambra here for PSB Sports, and on the line with me, I've got a trainer, Mr. Don Charles. Don, thank you so much for talking to PSB Sports. How are you, Don?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good to hear, Don. Good to hear. Don, usually we're seeing you with Derek Chisora on Box Nation or so on and so forth. You obviously are now training to Frank Buglioni, Ian Lewison. How have you been, Don, in general, and how are you finding life with Frank and Ian and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a boxing coach. That's what I do for a living. So, I have a number of fighters that I'm working with, and I thoroughly enjoy what I do as a coach. And, I love being a coach, and I like working with boxers.
Sounds good, Don. And, Don, of course, you had such a... you had such a successful time with Derek Chisora. You guys became, British, Commonwealth, European champions. You fought for the WBC heavyweight title against Vitaly Klitschko. You then fought Tyson Fury in a final eliminator. You've also fought David Haye. You've had so many huge fights with Derek. How much did you enjoy your time with Derek? And when you look back on the career you've had with Derek, what do you make of it, Don?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm always very grateful of what we achieved collectively. Me as a coach, Derek as a fighter. I will always be proud of what we achieved together. But for me, it's almost like nobody remembers the runners-up, People remember the winners, and unfortunately, we fell short every time it mattered. So that's something. My only regret, I don't like to have regrets in life, but my only regret to date is that with all those fights you just mentioned, we came second best, and that's just not good enough in my world. My only regret is I never got Derek Chisora to cross that line. That line is to lift a version of the world title. Right. And that was what we set out to do. Like I said, we fell short. I'm still very proud of what we did, but there's always going to be that regret that we never went that extra mile to achieve. Derek's good enough to have crossed that line. And, there is two things here. There's destiny, and there's also time. Time also equals destiny, because in everyone's career, every fighter, or tennis player, if I can give you examples, sometimes you're around, or your timing is just a little bit off, where you're meeting people who are in your way. If those people weren't there, in an ideal world, then you would have definitely got across that line and achieved what you set out to achieve. But like I said, it's an unfinished business. Derek is still fighting, as you know.
Yes.
He's still relatively a young heavyweight. He's still got a few years where, in order to get himself together, push on, and nothing will give me more pleasure than for one day, with or without me, for him to go and win. Because that's all that's ever eluded him in his career. That's the only title he has not won. It's the world title. He's won every other title, so I believe he's still capable. He just has to rediscover himself, and like I said, I believe he will. If he wants to, he will, and very capable of achieving his goal.
Absolutely, Don. And Don, as you said there, Derek lost to Vitaly for the world title. In my opinion, for the 5 rounds he fought David Haye, I thought he was boxing and fighting very well. I thought he was sticking to the game plan. He hit David with that huge left hook, I believe, in the 3rd round. He fought Tyson Fury twice. Tyson Fury beat him comfortably the second time and both times. To be honest, in my opinion, So Don, for you, as from his trainer's perspective, why do you think he was unable to get past that line, as you say, to becoming world champion, to getting onto that world level? Why, in your opinion, was he unable to do that, Don?
Listen, there are a number of reasons. I'm not going to sit here and pick excuses out. There are no excuses. You know, there's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser in any competitive sport. You know, we have gone back to the drawing board to ascertain and, you know, to search to find that there's always a reason why one falls short. You know, we've examined everything, and I know what I believe personally that why he never won those fights, and it's a bit personal for me to actually reveal it in a way because it's unfinished business in the sense that I still believe in the deepest of my heart that he, like I said, with or without me, we're not working together as you know at the moment. So I still speak to Derek on a regular basis, yeah, and you know I've been like a mentor, father figure, brother, whatever you name it, trainer. I am that to Derek Chisora. So I'm still kind of advising him and pushing him on. I really would want to see him. He's good enough, and I really want to see him with the experience he has gained from all those failures. Yeah, when we've fallen short in these big fights, although you lose, you draw quite a lot of experience from those experiences. So I believe if he can harness all those experiences, you know, with the state of the heavyweight boxing the way it is at the moment, I really believe he's got a chance. I mean, he just lost a fight recently. That doesn't help matters. But again, he needs to get himself together and push on, and I believe he's good enough. No disrespect to Charles Martin. If Charles Martin could, you know, win a world title, Derek Chisora is good enough to win a world title. Again, what I said to you about 10 minutes ago, it's all down to the path in the sense that who you're meeting along the way. We never had that kind of path what Charles Martin had, you know, to go and win a world title. Had we had that type of easier path, definitely Derek Chisora definitely would have been a world champion. But unfortunately, destiny is what, like I said, I believe in. The way, if he's to go on to become a world champion, then obviously he's done it in a really, really hard way because he's fought everybody. You know, he's one of those fighters. He didn't have an easy path all throughout his career. When I was working with Derek, even up to the British level, European level, we had to have some serious. We fought everybody. You know, so that's you know, you have to give Derek credit.
Absolutely.
The team, because we didn't have to take those fights. Whenever Frank Warnoff does those fights, he always says to us, look, go away, think about it, and come back to me. And we looked at it. Me as a coach, I have to look at it, dissect it. And if I can look at it, I'm thinking, is this a winnable fight? You know what? We're in the business of fighting. So when a fight is given to you, yeah, we look at it, I look at it personally, and it's up to me to advise Derek, ask him, do you believe you can beat this guy? Yeah, and if collectively we agree that, yeah, we're going to beat these people and this is how we're going to do it, then, yeah, the answer will be yeah, and we'll fight, and that's what we've always done. So he hasn't, you know, why I can take credit, or we can take credit collectively, is that we've never avoided anybody in our division. We've always fought people put in front of us.
Okay, no. I mean, of course, and Don, you know, I remember one thing that I loved watching when Team Chisora fought Team Hay, when Derek fought David. Do you remember the Beyond the Ropes, Don, on Box Nation? Yeah, that was a great watch, Don, because we got to see what it was like. You know, we got to see, Don, you behind the scenes. We got to see Derek behind the scenes. That was great for the fans, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think such programs should be made more frequent because the fans get to get more insight on what actually does go on, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, we get it 24/7 with the Mayweathers and stuff. So, you know, I think it's a really good thing that some networks, TV networks, do it. Brings the fan, gets the fans more, you know, involved, and give, like I said, give them more of an insight of what actually does go on, you know.
Yeah, I you know, that's something I really enjoyed. Don, you know, at times when you trained Derek, was there any like struggle in terms of maybe getting instructions to him? Because I remember in the Beyond the Ropes episode, you know, you guys unfortunately had a bust up in the training camp. So did some of that have anything to do with maybe Derek not getting over the line or so on and so forth?
Yeah, listen, it's well documented. We had, when you have a lot of, how can I put it, passion in burning, the fighter has a lot of passion, the trainer has a lot of passion.
Yeah.
You're going to get that where people's passions, we did have a very sort of volatile relationship regarding the trainer stroke fighter. I wouldn't do it any other way, because we're two passionate people, and when you get those passions clashing, it's a clash, isn't it? So
yeah, no, sure.
It's well documented. I'm not going to go into details, but it's well documented that we very often clashed during preparation. I'm not recommending it.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be like that, no. But unfortunately, that's how it was. And, we didn't, look, I know the times we lose, and also remember the times that we win. We won a lot of things.
Yeah, you did indeed.
The same passion that drove us when we prepared to, which aided us to win the fights that we did win. Some good fights. And it's the same passion that also, passion clash when we have lost, So it's just the way we are.
Fair enough, Don. Fair enough. And Don, I've got to ask about the David Haight fight, because that fight was as it was going. I remember Box Nation, the commentators had David up on points. Some of the people believe that Chisora was boxing well to a game plan, and he was come on strong late, and caused an upset in the fight. He hurt David in the third round. Don, for the fans, that was a real exciting fight, while it was happening. How do you look back on the David Haight fight? And, do you think that if Chisora made it to the end of the fifth round, that things could have been different in the second half of the fight?
Listen, I hate saying ifs and buts. We didn't win the fight. We had a game plan. We tried to execute our game plan. We've got to give credit to the person that won.
Yeah.
His game plan worked. We did have a game plan. Like I said, the man we were fighting, his game plan worked better on that night than our game plan did. So, whether we were doing well, yes, he was doing well, but we didn't go in it just to do well and get beaten. Of course, I don't believe in anything you do, whether it's football, tennis, or boxing in our case. I just hate saying what if. We got beaten. The better man, as you said, the saying is the better man won on the night. David won on the night. We can look at it however you want to dress it up. Yeah, we lost. So that's what my focus is on. We lost the fight. It was a very big fight. It was a must-win fight. But we lost, unfortunately. The better man won on the night. So I have to credit the person who won. Had we won, I hope the person will credit us. That's really the way I am. There's no excuses. Yeah, we turned up. We had the same amount of time to prepare as did David. Okay, no excuses. We brought our A game. Yes, we did. Yeah, his A game beat our A game. So credit to them.
Sure. No, fair enough, Don. And also, Don, how's things going with Frank Buglioni? I've interviewed him twice before. He obviously fought on the Blackpool Eubank Junior undercard against Fedotovs, I believe. That was a great performance. Moved up now to light heavyweight. How do you see things are going with Frank, Don?
Yeah, he's a fine pugilist, student, in every which way. He's articulate. He's very, very intelligent, and very well schooled. So what I've inherited is a fine athlete who, because I haven't been privileged in having people who are at that level come to me, then to take them on from a certain level to take them to where they're destined to go.
Right.
This is probably the first time I've come into that type of situation where somebody who's really well schooled, good background, good pedigree, and I just have to use my experience now should be his destination, which is to become a world champion. I have no doubt whatsoever that given the opportunity next 12 to 18 months to get ourselves in a position to be contend, for a world title. I mean, there's other titles before we can get to that, but I'm very convinced that this young man, Sambukiodi, will become a world champion in the near future.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, the light heavyweight scene right now is one of the most thriving divisions, but dominant as well, because you've got Kovalev, Stevenson, Andre Ward, Frank Buglioni as well in the mix. Who do you, in your opinion, who do you think's the number one light heavyweight in the world?
Well, you've got to look at Andre Ward, haven't you?
Yeah. So
look at Andre Ward, yeah.
So do you think Ward will beat Kovalev if they fight?
My opinion, yes, because Ward does what Mayweather was able to do to nullify what opponents have. He is able to diffuse any threat that oppositions have. They're able to diffuse them, make them appear ordinary, and I believe that will be the case if they were ever to meet.
Right.
And I think that's what you'll see. He has that ability, Andre Ward, to nullify whatever you have. So
sure.
Again, it's my opinion.
And Don, heading back to the heavyweight scene now, Tyson Fury defeated Vladimir Klitschko back in November, claimed the world heavyweight titles. You've got Deontay Wilder, WBC, Joshua, the IBF. What do you make of the world heavyweight scene now as you've seen it? Do you see Tyson Fury as number one, Joshua as number one? And also, what do you make of the Fury-Klitschko rematch coming up?
Right, in which order would you like those questions answered?
Yeah. So who do you see? How do you assess the world heavyweight scene now as you see it?
The world heavyweight now is very, very healthy. Healthy in the sense that, no disrespect to the Klitschkos, they reigned for a long time. Full credit to them, both brothers. I knew this was going to happen. That once they lose power, in the sense that somebody takes those titles off them, then the titles will be swapping hands on a regular basis, which is what you're going to see. I don't believe there's a heavyweight out there right now who's capable of holding those belts. Who was the last undisputed champion we have here? I think it was Lennox Lewis.
Lennox
right?
Lewis, yeah.
He should be knighted, actually. It should be a Sir Lennox Lewis. And I'm sure that will happen in the near future, right? So basically, those belts are going to be swapping hands on a regular basis, yeah, because there is a lot of heavyweights around, young heavyweights coming through, ones who are present, ones who are coming up. And, and Britain, we've got a big shout for it, because there's a lot of heavyweights in this country at this moment, current and people who are still coming through. I think we're going to be big players, and we are already big players in every weight division. I believe we've got 13 champions today.
13 world champions,
in
yeah.
most weight categories, and I've never known it like this. I've been following boxing for the last, let's say, 40 years. I wouldn't be wrong, and I've never known it to be this healthy in this country, where we possess as many world champions as we presently do. But in terms of who's you asked about who's the number one heavyweight? Is that the next question?
Yes, correct.
Right. Well, you've got to give it to the man who's holding most of the belts currently, Tyson Fury, because he has the belts. He has all the belts. I mean, with the exception of he got stripped of one of the titles, which I think was unfair.
Yeah.
So you have to say he's definitely the number one heavyweight in the world. Wilder holds the WBC. I believe he'll be number two in my ranking right now. And number three, I have to give to young Anthony Joshua, who what he has achieved in such a short space of time is remarkable. And obviously, it's only a matter of time before he gets all the belts.
Wow, so you think Joshua will beat Fury and Wilder in due course?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt.
in the Fury fight, Don, what do you think are the main factors that are gonna, in your opinion, allow Joshua to beat Fury?
Well, that's one thing at a time. You also asked me what do I think will happen next.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, yes,
between Fury and Klitschko. Yeah?
Yes, sure.
Right. I was probably one of the very, very few people who predicted that Fury would be victorious in the first time round. People in my gym said they were having like literally heated arguments with me that, how can you say that? I said, well, I can say it because I know he'll beat him.
If you have anything to say about the icon, the great one Muhammad Ali, please don't go ahead.
No, I just want to pay our respects to them. I'm sure you're the same. The man who encouraged and influenced and everybody into doing the sport that we're now talking about. The great Muhammad Ali, may God rest his soul, and his family. God bless his family and give him strength and hope to carry on in his legacy and to in fact to celebrate his life rather than mourn his life. To celebrate his life, that's what I urge everybody to do, is to celebrate this great man's life.
Well said, Don.
Fans out there.
Well said, Don. Absolutely, and of course, I think as Don said that Muhammad Ali inspired so many people around the world, and he was such a great fighter as well. So absolutely, Don, do you have anything else to add?
No, that'd be all really. I mean, I do talk a lot, but sometimes I choose in terms of what I've just said with regarding Muhammad Ali, the greatest. We should celebrate his life and his legacy. He's left his massive. It's gonna last for generations after generations after generations. So it's a great man to have witnessed within our lifetime.
Absolutely, Don. Hi there, guys. Yep. So we're just gonna pick it back up now with Don Charles. Yep. So Don, sorry, you were giving me your opinion on the Fury Klitschko 2 fight, Don.
Yeah. Like I said, I was one of the very few people that predicted that Fury was going to win the first fight. I remember having various heated arguments in my gym. A lot of people were asking me, how can I say Fury will beat Klitschko? He's going to get knocked out. I said, no. Fury will beat Klitschko. And then he went and did it. And I actually predicted not only would he beat him, he will stop him. He would have stopped Klitschko had the referee not intervened. I think it was the 11th round when Klitschko looked he was ready to go, but referee broke them up. Had he not broken up at that point, Fury would have got him out of there.
Yeah.
In the second fight, which is pending, again I predict a stoppage. I believe Fury will stop him.
Yeah.
This time.
Also, Don, in the second fight, it is seen by a lot of people that Vladimir is going to seriously let his hands go and he's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Tyson. Do you think that's going to make any difference at all in the second fight, or do you think Tyson will just adapt to that and as you say, still stop him?
Yeah, the worst thing Klitschko can do, if Klitschko tries to be what Klitschko is not,
yeah,
he'll get knocked out quick, right? Klitschko hasn't got it in him. He has not got it in him. You can't, after all this time, boxing the way he boxes, he will not change the way he boxes. He plays very safe, doesn't take any chances, doesn't take any risks,
Yeah.
And he's the smaller man, okay? This is one of the very few times in his career he's boxing somebody who's bigger than him. So in order to win, he has to take chances. He hasn't got it in him to take chances. That's why he could box Fury 10 times and Fury will win 9.5 times out of 10.
Right. Okay. Sure. And, do you think that, I know earlier you mentioned that you see the belts changing quite a lot. So in your opinion, you don't envisage Tyson Fury holding those belts for a long time?
No. I respect Tyson. He's been victorious over myself as
Yeah.
They've outwitted us twice. No excuses. The first time, my boy shouldn't have been in the ring, but nevertheless, he was in the ring. Tyson won. Second time, we never turned up at all. Tyson also won. So I have to concede that, yeah, when a man beats you on two occasions, then you have to salute him. I'm afraid my hat goes off to them. But is he capable of holding all those belts, unifying all those belts? Not with the likes of Joshua around now.
Okay, well, which in fact leads on to my next question, which I asked you previously. So, as I said, when Joshua fights Fury, as you said, in your opinion, Joshua beats Fury. So, in your opinion, Don, what do you think the factors are in that fight that are, in your opinion, going to allow Joshua to win?
Quite a few factors. I know Joshua quite well, very well. Like I said, he's probably the most explosive heavyweight I've witnessed in the last, since Mike Tyson, in fact. I don't remember any other heavyweight being that explosive, that raw power, that concussive punching power, and also the hunger, the desire, the work ethic, that the preparation, the way he prepares. The kid's too determined, too strong, too hungry. It's his time.
Okay, and if obviously when Deontay Wilder fought Arthur Spilkerdon, Fury and Wilder got in the ring after they had that head-to-head. Who do you think wins that fight on between Fury and Wilder?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Who do I think will win if they fought?
No. If Fury and Wilder fought each other, Don, who do you think wins that fight? Because there's a lot of talk about Tyson going out to America after this next fight. Because when there was the press conference for Fury and Klitschko in Manchester for the second time, there was Tyson apparently said to the national media that this is his last fight in the UK. He's going to head out to America after this.
Yeah. I can see that happening. That's a very good move if that does materialize. That's a natural move because the best should fight the best. Tyson should get over to about time. Such a fight since Holyfield, Lewis, and there was a period where people were fighting in Las Vegas all the time, the heavyweights. We haven't had that for a long time, So I think it'll be quite healthy for heavyweight boxing if that was to. Obviously, we'd love it over here, right? That to happen, but it doesn't really matter where it happens. We'd prefer it in England, but if Tyson must travel to America to do that, to fight Wilder, then why not? I think it'll be good for boxing.
And do you believe Fury beats him, Don?
As we speak, I've very often looked at if they were to fight. You look at styles. You look at styles, and you're thinking, how would this person cope and deal with the person's strength? How would the other person cope with the other person? Then you look at their weaknesses, and then you start to then dissect it, and then try to ascertain who would be victorious. I believe that if they fought, who would win that fight? Yeah, he got Deontay with his. He is a concussive puncher. Yeah, he's a bit wild. Tyson's got his trickery. That's a very hard fight to call, that one. I'll probably sway towards Tyson Fury. Okay. He's got two tall men. They're both tall.
Yeah, 167, 169.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much different. When you've only got 2 inches to play with, there won't be that much difference, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So I'll sway towards Tyson because, again, he's versatile. Tyson. He's very versatile, and he can adapt as well. And he's a fighting man. He won't be phased with that. In fact, Tyson rises for such occasions. He's a big. It's not a game, so I won't use the big game player. He's a big day fighter.
Right.
The bigger occasion, the more he will thrive. There's some people
Sure.
on big occasions. He's the type of personality that thrives on big occasions. So I'll swear towards Tyson winning that encounter if it's to happen, and I believe it should happen for the boxing public. I think that sort of fight should happen.
Okay, fair enough, Don. Don, I want to say thank you so much for talking to me. I've taken around, I think, half an hour of your time. I've taken so much time of yours, Don. I want to say
I was defending you, the bill. Don't worry about that. The invoice will be through the post.
Sure, but yeah. So, guys, I want to say this has been Don Charles here with Pam Bambra for PSB Sports. Thanks a lot for listening.